Recognising and celebrating the best of Irish business for 17 years, EY Entrepreneur of the Year, home of the entrepreneurs.
We done? I think we're done. Oh, mother. All right, put me on the phone to them. I have been in New York for 2 years. I was in Boston for a year before that. You trying to kill me? Are you trying to like cause some sort of, heart attack? When I was still in college in Dublin, I was working in real estate in Budapest in Hungary, and it was always hard to find people like home cleaners and handymen to do small tasks in the apartments. So here's the deal. I can't put in writing that you don't have to do that, but I will not make our lawyers, as in I'm not going to hold the deal up because of it. And then I worked in venture for a little while in London, and one of the businesses that Excel invested in while I was working there was Halo. And I thought that's a really cool model for buying services. It's just so efficient to book a car. And then I moved to Boston and started a business school and didn't know like a cleaner, didn't know a handyman, didn't have like any help. Hey Alex.
Morning.
What's going on?
I'm just gonna reach out to Nubia and then I can give you a call right back.
So the same way you book a car on Halo or on Uber, we let you book home services just like that. All right, we're gonna talk about this thing.
He's been great at sort of getting this larger vision, getting people really excited about it. That sort of drive and that sort of desire to sort of grow and be aggressive and be sort of ambitious about where this business can go. I think a lot of that is, him constantly believing that. I think beyond that, he works incredibly hard.
Hey, Teju.
Hey, how's it going?
What's going on? We've just been growing insanely fast for about 8 months now. We're doing, well over 10,000 bookings a week, well over 50,000 bookings in a month. It's one of those markets where it's shockingly large. It's $1 trillion market globally. So there's north of $1 trillion spent on maintaining people's homes across the globe.
HANDYBOOK. You can hop onto our website, lots of great information.
Relative to the size of the market, we're tiny still, but yeah, it's, millions of dollars a month.
If I press play on this, this is one style of restaurant that they have. This is basically a barbecue one. I'm excited about this video because this was the turning point for us. We struggled with some of the suppliers to make sure they did a quality product. They just didn't understand the final use of it. The product that we have here is paddywhack. So it's basically the springy bit on your neck. So this is the lamb testicle cut into 2 different pieces. Your paddywhack here, that's the aorta, ready to go. This is beef peasel. Lamb testicles, I have not tried them myself, but I have tried the aorta and I have tried the paddywhack. Peasel, I'm not so keen to do that now, I have to be honest now. But what we have found as well is that these products are more in demand by young people rather than old people. So we're creating a brand new cuisine, yeah? We do South Korea, we go to Hong Kong, Lydia takes her product into Vietnam, South Africa, Angola, Democratic Republic of Congo, Benin, Ghana, Ivory Coast. The business that I have is called Elm Grove Foods. We started it in December 2008. We now have 12 full-time employees, and what we do is we take beef, lamb and pork offal and export it around the world. Honestly, this makes me so proud to do what we do. Yeah, it's not the most glamorous, please don't get me wrong on that, but at the end of the day, it's a product that was waste. We're now taking it out of the bins, we're paying people for it, and actually people around the world want our product, and that for me is just, that's what spurs me on every time.
It was a really slow start. It was a very expensive process, and it was very frustrating, as all young businesses and startups are. We had to visit all the mobile operators in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Central America, to convince them that if they connected to our platform, that they would generate revenue. I was away every second week for 4 years. My children were quite small at the time, and so small, in fact, that the way that they would count it would be, I'm sure every father and mother who's working abroad knows this, is how many sleeps will you be away? And so you'd count them on their fingers till you're back home. I was in Dubai in 2005. I saw thousands of workers working in a foreign country for very little money often. They're separated from their families. They were there because they had to be there, not because they wanted to be there.
Hey Michal, how are you?
If we could do something that could in some way bring the family closer together in a very practical way, I thought this would be something worthwhile doing. And then I thought of, what do they all have in the Gulf that they also all have at home? It's mobile phones. Hi guys, we're on. Ding tops up mobile phones in another country in 3 seconds. Hi Mohammed, how are you? The value we're transferring is airtime, which they can then use for accessing the internet, for making calls, but also for empowering their daily life. Here's a mobile phone top-up going from Spain to Peru. Then someone in Brooklyn in New York, if we follow this one, is topping up $20 onto a phone in Trinidad and Tobago. Here's one from England, is topping up a phone in Paraguay for €5. It brings the father back to his family just for those few moments, not in a phone call, but in a very practical way, because he is sending home $5 or $10, which says, I love you, I'm thinking of you, I hope this helps.
Dumbia is my family's company. They are one of the UK's largest meat processing groups. Turnover-wise, they would do about 800 million per year. That business was started by my father and my uncle, so we've a lot to live up to. My father, Jack, wouldn't admit that he's proud of me, but I know that deep down that he is.
How it. Sixes.
My family, they wouldn't admit it because it's just not in their nature to do that.
You've got to dedicate yourself to do what you're going to do. In life, you've got things you've got to give up in life that you can't. Like sometimes you've got to give up family life, which I don't pride myself in that. I don't pride myself in that, you know. And like Stuart hardly saw me when he was a child. He hardly saw me. I was working every, you know, you slept all day Sunday. That was the day, you know, you had a day off. But it was definitely very difficult. For an owner's son to start in a business, it's very hard, you know. Men we've worked with us for 30 years, and the son to come in to tell them what to do is very difficult. They want to make change. People don't like change.
I couldn't see a potential future for myself in Dumbia. So I went and did a BTEC in Business and Finance, followed by a degree in accounting, and shortly after that there I started doing a master's in management. What I like about the Elm Grove business is that I've started a business from scratch. People wouldn't have looked in the bins and they don't want to get their hands dirty. Whereas when we started this business, the vast majority of the time I spent my time inside the abattoir itself, looking through the bins just to see what was salvageable from the waste itself. My degree in accountancy definitely helped. If you look beyond what the product is and you can see a potential, that's where the revenues really are. What we do would be aorta, testicle, piezo, lamb bones, pig's feet, stomachs, different products like this. We're also looking at cow placenta, which is the latest product we're working on. It's completely gross, but they're paying for it and I'm happy.
Think we need to clean this cell? Yeah? Should we get a cleaner? For how long? Where are we located?
You go online, you say where you live, you say, what you need done. You pick a time and a date and the person shows up, hopefully does an amazing job, and you keep using Handybook again.
This is Ella. Hey, Ella. And then for you, Kevin, I think that we have a few pictures we want to hang.
What we've done in the back end is we've screened a whole array of these service professionals to get what we think are the very best, and we're constantly monitoring their rankings and ratings and customer feedback.
We've gone from 400,000 service pros applying to 4,000 people on the actual platform. There's a team here that does outbound phone screening, verify some credentials, they answer some questions about themselves. We assess them for speaking English, they confirm that they have the relevant work credentials. I mean, a lot of people filter out on automated stuff like they have criminal history or they don't have work credentials.
We're in a very real business where they're real customers, they're real sort of cleaners and handymen. Instagram had 12 people when they sold for $1 billion. This is not that kind of a business. This needs real people, but that's what makes it a little challenging as well when you're growing so fast.
It's fun when you think about the volume of people that are using your platform. You can walk down the street and you might see a Handybook cleaner wearing a blue t-shirt in the West Village. And you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. That person is doing some stuff today, earning some money because of a platform that we were lucky enough to build.
You place demands on yourself and you place expectations on yourself, and because you have chosen them, you can't really complain. People often say you learn more from your failures than your successes. I think that's probably true. When I was in ESAT, I absolutely enjoyed every single minute of my time there. But I had this almost, insatiable desire to do something myself. So I started a business called Torque Telecom, and the idea was to sell calling cards. And in the year 2000, I bought another company out of receivership, combined it with Torque Telecom, and 12 months later, I had to put the combined entity into receivership because the company that we acquired was rotten to the core. All of a sudden, everything that I had done and invested in over a period of 4 years was taken away from me. But not the sense of loss, the sense of destruction, and the sense of I should have done something better. I shouldn't have let this happen. It was probably the lowest I've been ever in my life. I'd lost a lot of money for both myself and also for friends. I don't know, I just had this, feeling of guilt that I'd done something wrong, and it's not something you recover from. The great thing is that after the failures of Torque, I've realized, the importance of managing your costs and also the importance of keeping going. Okay, are we on? Right, firstly, I'd like to welcome everybody to our first town hall as Ding. I think it is incredibly exciting, the stage we're at now. All online as well. We're moving about $1 million a day in mobile phone top-up. We're connected to 300 mobile phone operators throughout the emerging markets. And then in the last couple of months, we've seen such incredible growth. And these 300 mobile phone operators support 3 billion people, which means that Ding is connected to half of the world's population. Thank you very much.
I think what I get excited by is things being different after you've done what you're trying to do. I think that's what's most exciting. I mean, it's the same when I was in construction and development in Budapest, Hungary. It was just, you'd go to a renovated building, it would look different, and I think it's that impact that is most exciting. Hey, can I get a nice coffee, please? Thanks. My dad ran a small construction supply business, so like there was always like conversations around how the business was doing around the kitchen table. I always remember like doing stuff in school. So first summer in secondary school, I went around and like flyered all the houses in the neighborhood and said, hey, like I'll clean yards or like cut trees or cut grass or whatever. So yeah, I always remember like wanting to like do things to earn money.
You ready to go, Lydia? Yeah. Okay, let's go. Mr. James?
Hello. Hello, Lydia. How are you? To be honest, we were quite sceptical of the whole thing. It was a very, very off-the-wall idea. Stuart came in and I listened to him, maybe paid a little bit of lip service to it all, but we said, right, okay, we'll go along with it. We dipped our toe in the water with a small amount of tonnage, and it has done nothing, only grow ever since. Not only are we not paying to get rid of it, we're actually getting money for it. So that makes it a double success, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, very good. Perfect, lovely. Yeah.
No complaints here at all?
Of course, no complaints.
Lydia would be considered to be my biggest customer. She was there from the very start. Elm Grove was basically built to service her market.
They improve a lot. At the very beginning, I don't think this can be used for human beings. I talked with them seriously. I said, no, I think it's for pets, not for people. And then they know it. That's very different specifications.
Perfect, very good.
70% growth last year in terms of volume and value. One group of companies, I paid them over 10 million sterling last year. Where 6 years ago we dumped the same product.
If they can get more, we can take more. That's no problem. God sent Stuart to us, and God sent us to Stuart. We are lucky to meet him.
I remember one of the first images that I had in our very first office was of a famine ship, and I think it's in our DNA. We're well used to the fact that if there isn't opportunity or work at home, that you have to go further afield.
I left Cuba more than 20 years ago. And the main reason was seeking a better future. Dean saved my life. I send money back to Cuba for credit for my family. So my mom, my son, we all, closer, thanks to Dean.
If you want to send a top-up to your families, like a gift, so they can call you back and they will have a credit on their phones, so you can empower them to use internet.
We are a profit-making company, but I think it's very important to bear in mind that it's okay to make a profit, but it's not okay to make an extortionate amount of money. Okay, so let's take Nigeria. Do you have a mobile number there that we can add minutes to now? This is important because there is lots of foreign companies who have gone to Africa and who have gone to Asia and exploited them. You've just sent 1,300 naira to your mum.
Hello, Mom.
In some ways, I'd like to think that what we're doing is bringing value back home from the people who are from those countries, and we're enabling them to share the value instantly, and we do it at a fair price.
going on?
Just prepping for this this meeting with Joe and Nikita. WhatsApp stuff.
So we're in 25 cities in the US. So, you know, the typical big cities you'd expect, like New York, Boston, Chicago, DC, LA, Miami, San Francisco, the biggest cities. Then we're in 2 cities in Canada. So we're in Toronto and Vancouver. And we've recently launched London as well. This is the 5th office that we've been in the 2 years that we've started. At the beginning of this year, we were 20 people. Today, we're 165, so we've 8x the team in 8 months. Guys, what's going on? Every time I come in here, I'm like, I flip-flop between it looking huge and it looking tiny. Today, I think it looks big. What do you think? This is our new office for Handybook in New York. 5 feet here, 5 feet there. It's just a big empty space right now, right? Feels much the same as when we moved into the last one. Is the AC gonna go into this one too? I presume it is. I'm hoping we manage to keep the next office a little bit longer. But then again, I mean, I guess it's a good thing if you can keep needing to move. There's a sense that there's a real Amazon for home services, like a scale of business that's in the billions and billions of dollars to be built in this category. Maybe we're not it, but hopefully we are.
When you run your own business is competing with your family, and, you know, it's just not true to say that they don't collide. They do. There's nothing that gives me more fun than to have the kids out playing tennis, and I mean, they love nothing more than to chase me around the court. I think I am competitive. Yeah. Great shot. But it's not an all-consuming competitiveness. It's a desire to be really successful for the company, for what we're trying to achieve, not to brag about it. You know, I think there's nothing nicer than success with humility. Here you go, Liz.
I never dreamed that I would ever be doing anything like this. I can't explain how it actually feels, you know. Many's in this field then? Must be about 30 in here, wouldn't there?
I think it's about 35.
And they'll be ready to go in about another month or 2 left.
Should be ready to go in a bit. What's shirt's quite unique. There's not many people doing this. Oh, he works hard. He really deserves credit. He really does. I think he's made himself an entrepreneur of his own in his own right. I think he has, yeah. Oh yes, I'm very proud. Yeah, very, very proud of him. Yeah. I think he can go further, you know.
The entrepreneurs you've been watching are all finalists in this year's EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards. Other finalists include Terry Fox of Cuprint.
We didn't sit around for weeks on end saying, I'm unemployed. Even though technically we were, you start doing something.
Gerard and Vincent Cleary of Glenisk.
My mum dabbled at various dairy products in her kitchen.
Her consumers were her 14 children, of which I'm in the middle somewhere.
Bill Walsh of Aspire Technology.
I was 47, starting up a business, feeling I was out of my depth a bit. I had wanted to do this about 10 years previously, but I just didn't have the courage.
These finalists are answering your questions now on the Entrepreneurs Hangout on eoy.ie. The awards will be hosted by Mark Little and myself, Catherine Thomas, on RT1 October 23rd at 10:50. Visit the RTE player for more.